It's been a while, but we're back! Well, don't get too excited about it, Prime.
Well, yeah, you stop the music.
I know, but that's because they gotta hear us, though.
That's
You know,
it
is. Yeah, that's true.
But we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, did y'all miss us?
It's been a little bit. It has been a little bit since season 1.
Well, yes, since we've done Prime Impact. We've been very busy, though. Otherwise, we've been putting out a lot of episodes on the podcast. We've been doing a lot of appearances.
Yeah, we did a lot of appearances this last year.
Yeah, if you haven't seen them yet, check us out on our YouTube. You'll see we did like a bowling appearance. We did the Bowling for Autism. We did a lot of Toy Mans, which is a little like Toy Man show here.
Not so little anymore, though. That thing has built up.
Yeah, it's hundreds to thousands of people.
Yeah, it really is.
So yeah, and there was other little conventions that we've been hitting up. So yeah, we're making appearances like crazy. So if you guys want us to make an appearance at a con near you, let us know.
Yes.
We're always looking to visit and branch out.
Yes.
And if you're in St. Louis, we are making appearances near you. So come see us.
Yep. It's been a crazy year. Well, and guys, you know, we would love to do, and this doesn't just go for Prime Impact. This is for My Big Fat Pull List and all of our related shows on the YouTube channel and everything. We would love to be able to do this regularly as a little more full time, but we aren't there yet. We're not there. So go and tell all of your friends out there to follow us so we can get there. But anyway, we're not there yet. So that means that everything that we do for this show in shooting, recording, editing, promoting, posts, everything, all of it is done in our spare time. Yeah. And boy, this last year, there hasn't been a lot of that.
No, well, I mean, I moved.
Yep.
I started a new job.
Yep.
And I got married.
Yes, and you got married.
I did 3 big things in 3 months.
Yep, and I completely flip-flopped my apartment, which was basically like a move, and got a promotion at my job. Thank you. And got divorced. So
that's the elephant in the room.
Yeah. No. That elephant's gone. It's done. It's over. It was unwanted, but there it is. Yeah. But like you said, we've been doing the appearances and everything. So it's been like free time and spare time where we would work on shows has been kind of non-existent.
Really much so. We were able to get a lot of episodes out, luckily, for the podcast itself. But as far as like some of the fun YouTube videos here, where we can talk to you guys in a more intimate type setting, it just wasn't possible. I hate to say that, but now that things have eased up, we're going to be back, and we're going to be in your faces constantly. So get used to us.
That's right, and things have improved.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, we are not sitting on the sofa.
No.
In a makeshift, funky, weird green screen diner.
Nope.
We are sitting at an actual table. The studio has changed.
Yep. Onwards and upwards.
Still, however, in front of a funky, odd, weird green screen diner.
Yeah, or tea house, or whatever we feel.
Or whatever, yeah. Ooh, or whatever.
Tea house.
Okay, yeah, we'll just bounce around, Will you change it back? Thank you. Okay. But also the other thing too is like we've got these nifty graphics of our names that pop up.
Nifty.
That are down here. And so I mean we're stepping up our game. We've got you guys can see we've got the
new merch,
the current merch, the current shirts, because we do have new shirts coming.
Are looking banger.
Yeah, they're really nice, and these are great shirts. But these new shirts are going to be even better. I think, if I remember correctly, Smurfy was even kicking around the idea of maybe a hoodie.
That would be dope.
So keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, I mean, it's just been. It was a busy year.
Yeah.
We got to do some really good stuff in general for the show. We got to meet a lot of really cool people out there. Yeah. Hopefully, some of you that are watching or listening to this on your favorite podcast platform are people that we did get to meet and talk to.
And if you met us, let us know in the comments and tell us how much you hated us.
Yeah, and we love interacting with the listers. We absolutely love it. Because it does kind of... It helps to build that community sense that we really enjoy about all of this, but it also kind of helps... Expose is not the right word, because there's a lot of this stuff we've already known about, but
Pistol gets in trouble for exposing.
Well, in Pistol, yeah, but I mean, like it also helps kind of flesh out, I guess, some ideas of things. Yep. I know that Smurfy and I last summer, I think it was summer of 2022, we did the Perryville Heroes for Kids Comic-Con in Perryville, Missouri.
There's a video about that on our Facebook, so
That's
go
right.
check it out.
That's right.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, come on back. All right.
They're back?
They're back.
Welcome
yep.
back.
It's that fast. Wow. It's like flash time.
Wow.
So at that event, I mean, that event was awesome, and we're gonna be at the next Perryville show here in 2023. Dragonus will join us this time. But we met.
Then make sure it looks good.
Yeah. But we met some really cool people there, that, especially since this is Prime Impact. I mean, we met cool people involved with all of pop culture, but because this is Prime Impact, we met some really cool people that were huge fans of manga.
Yeah.
And for instance, we met one individual, and if you've watched that episode, you'll see we interviewed them. Who is a huge Beastars fan.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been curious about Beastars, and so I was talking to him and trying to, just kind of pick his brain, and it was great because we were having this it was like sitting in a comic shop, geeking out. It's just in this case it was about manga, and it was about Beastars.
So did you read Beastars?
Not yet, and the reason I didn't, and this brings us to our first order of business here today on Season 2 of Prime Impact, and that is, it is going to be one of the books that I review in Season 2.
Spoilers!
So I held off.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, hints, previews.
Well, it's not really a hint when you just straight up said, I'm going to read this.
Yeah, you got me there. Yeah.
A hint would be, I'm going to read a manga that involves animals and celestial bodies, and I'll let you figure out what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, fair enough. But that is an order of business I want to come up to here. I want to give people a little bit of a preview, a little bit of a taste of
stuff we're going to be reading.
Something that we talked about. Because you and I, we've already kind of blocked out the first...
12 or so? 15?
Yeah.
A good chunk.
Yeah, and we don't know, just like last season, we don't know how long the season's going to run. We're going to go until we feel like, okay, that's a good stopping point for Season 2.
Or until you tell us to shut up.
Or until you tell us you're not watching us anymore. So we don't know how long it's going to go, but we do have like the first 12 or so kind of broken down and figured out.
Well, tell them some other ones you're going to read.
So obviously, there's some stuff
Beastars.
There's some stuff that we're going to go back to and read second volumes of, which I'm dying to. Yeah, Demon Slayer Volume 2. I can't wait to read that. I loved that first volume. Probably my favorite from all of last season. Probably my number one read.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, probably my least favorite. Yeah, and I know I just pissed off a lot of Tokyo Ghoul fans, and I'm sorry, but I just go back and watch the episode. You'll know vampires are generally not my thing, so it already kind of was stacked. But anyway, no, I Promised Neverland.
Oh yeah,
Promised Neverland is it's still, even of the stuff that that we have read recently. I think it is still my top favorite manga that I've ever read.
Right on.
And I cannot wait to get back into that, because I have heard that series just goes nuts. So I'll be doing Volume 2 and 3 probably.
I'm looking forward to reading Volume 1.
Yeah, yes. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Other things that I'm going to read, I don't know. I've got some original stuff. There's... I forget the full exact title, so I'm paraphrasing horribly, but it's something like The Way of the Home Warrior or something. It sounds very cool. It sounds like it's John Wick meets Mr. Mom.
Oh.
So so that looks cool.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it sounds very fun and very cool. So that's just kind of some of the stuff that I'm going to be reading. What about you, Prime? What do you got?
I've got Obviously, I'm going to read Death Note Volume 2 at some point, because I really loved the first volume. I thought that was really cool. I found out recently about My Hero's Vigilantes, which is a kind of a spin-off.
The spin-off from,
I'm a huge My Hero fan, so I'm going to read that one and check that out. And then there's another one that was recommended to me by my niece called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, I've been hearing a lot about that.
So I'm going to read that one and check out that one. I'm kind of excited. She showed me the first episode because she was like...
Of the anime?
Yeah, she's like, you got to watch this. And I watched it. It's really interesting. And I was like, I want to know more.
More about anime in just a second, but nice. So that's a good list. Here's another preview for you guys. We're going to do sporadically some new formats with the show this year. And one of the new formats is that there will be times where, and they won't be a lot, but there will be episodes. Today's episode, in fact, is one of them, where we will both be reading the same book and discussing the same book. We'll do it for kind of special things, things that pop up. And one that we've got coming up that you and I are both super stoked about is the Transformers manga.
That episode is going to be more than meets the eye.
Oh, I can't wait to read that book. Cannot wait to read it. But then, talking about changing of the format. So, if you guys watch season 1, you knew that we had what we called swap time.
Swap time,
and we would read the other one's pick when after the episode was done, and then that video would go to our Patreon page. Well, we decided not to do that.
Yeah, we figured you guys kind of wanted to see our swap time.
Yeah,
everybody did. We didn't want to like basically gatekeep that stuff.
Right. Yeah, essentially. I mean, I think we both think, well, all four of us on Pull List think that Patreon is great. Yeah. We absolutely have a Patreon.
And
please.
We do have stuff that we're going to be putting on Patreon.
We do have stuff on there, so please go check it out. But something like that, it just seemed like people are going to want to know. Right. Because if one of us didn't like it and the other one did, then that could be a really interesting argument. And that's just, we don't want to keep that.
Cool stuff like that we're going to do for everybody, but like the fun exclusive stuff, like I've got some exclusive things set up for a upcoming show that we're doing. We're going to be eventually doing an RPG. I'm making custom character sheets for everyone.
Oh, sure, yeah.
PDFs for the character sheets up on Patreon.
Right.
Stuff like that. You might see some blooper stuff on Patreon.
Yeah, some prints maybe of art that Dragonus and I have done, things of that nature, But this kind of thing, we wanted to share with everybody. So now when we do that, I believe, if I remember the schedule that we made, and yes, we have a schedule. If I remember the schedule that we made, we will have full swap time episodes. So it won't be like one of us is reading something brand new and then the other one's reading a swap time book. No, they'll both be swap times. Now, they may not be from the same episode that we read them in, but... Well, for example, on one of the swap times, I'll just tell them. It's coming up. Yeah.
I'll be doing Demon Slayer Volume 1 because Impact.
No, you're Prime.
Impact did Demon Slayer last year. And Impact will probably be doing Death Note that episode.
Yeah.
I did Death Note last year.
Were those in the same episode, last year? They were not. Okay.
Death Note and Chainsaw Man were in episode 1 last year.
Okay. So there you go. So they can come from different... They could come from the same episode, but they come, So we'll do some swap time episodes every now and then. And then, speaking about the anime thing, here's some news for you. This should be dropping soon, if it hasn't already. Right. We have a sister show now.
A rivalry, if you could say.
Almost. Smurfy and Pistol Danger have started up their own show. Now, everybody, you guys know that we record these episodes in advance, so, it's been a little while. By the time you're watching it, it's been a little while since we recorded it. As of right now, I think that they're saying that the show is called Dangerously Adorable. And it is essentially kind of the same idea as what we do here, but specifically for anime.
Yep.
So, so that'll be really cool. And yes, it's all under the My Big Fat Pull List banner.
It's superheroes. That's comic books.
And we're all... Crossover is coming. Crossover is coming. It's not planned yet, but we're doing a crossover. Yeah.
And we'll let you know the format of that crossover once we
figure out all of that. So it's good. So well, that's enough of like state of the season for season 2 here. So, welcome back, everybody, and
well, you want to tell them what we're reading?
Let's get into it.
So, are you ready to tell them what we read this week? Because I'm super excited by this one, being a very big Western comic fan.
Yes, and I'm excited about this one as well, and we thought that this is really, especially since most of My Big Fat Pull List listers base comes from, the Western comic world, we thought that this would be kind of a good thing to start season 2. So, season 2, episode 1 of Prime Impact, we did
Deadpool Samurai.
That's right. Deadpool has his very own manga. Ching, ching, ching. So, so I just read it a couple nights ago.
Same.
Also, guys, mom cards are evolving. If you watched last season, you know that we can't ever remember names, especially me. Yeah. So mom cards are evolving. Yeah. There will be new mom cards coming soon. So, but here we go.
As soon as our printer gets them to us.
That's right. But for now, mom cards, and you can see it's got the pull list stuff on it. So
Oh, that's what that is.
That's what that is. So anyway, Deadpool Samurai.
Yep. Well, what do you say? Yes or no? Yay or nay? We'll just start right off the bat. Rip the Band-Aid off.
I say yay, but likely no longer. Not likely no more.
Funnily, I say the same. I say yay with a caveat.
And?
It felt forced.
Parts of it certainly did. The problem that I had with it is that it's Deadpool. Yes. It is Deadpool, and if you love Deadpool, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, it's very, and it feels very much like the movie Deadpool.
That's the issue. It is the movie.
That's also my other issue, because the villain of the first volume is Loki.
Right.
Okay. Forcing a villain into this that is extremely popular.
Well, and all but 2 characters, and there are other Marvel characters that show up in the book.
In here.
Iron Man.
All the Avengers have a cameo.
Well, they have a cameo in like a text thread, so you see like little logos for Hawkeye and Black Widow. But
Cap and Iron Man are featured.
and then there is the backup story in the back of Volume 1 that has Spider-Man, and then Loki. Oh, and Bruce Banner.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Bruce
Banner. Not in Hulk form.
No.
Well, you see Hulk in a panel, but
and then the other 2 characters that are in this that are not Marvel characters.
New characters, which of course Deadpool makes fun of the fact that they had to introduce new characters. And I'm sure I'm gonna butcher this, but the first one and the main one is Sakura Spider.
Could be Sakura. No, probably
Sakura Spider, something like that. So basically, before we even get to the second character, the idea is that the Avengers are going to expand.
Yep.
And they have created a new division of the Avengers.
Kind of like, I don't know if any of you remember back in the aughts, the Avengers Initiative, where right after Civil War, Iron Man had this grand idea of putting Avengers in different states and have 50 different Avengers.
Yeah.
Avengers-sanctioned teams around the country. It's a similar concept to that, only instead they're doing it around the world, and this is going to be the team in Japan. And Iron Man and Cap thought Deadpool should lead it?
Iron Man did not, remember?
Well, that's true.
Cap is the one that vouches for him.
That's true.
Which I thought was kind of in line, but yet kind of out of line. Like Cap vouching for Deadpool didn't bother me. I felt like he could have certainly vouched for a character like Deadpool. Cap vouching for Deadpool as he and Tony are watching video feed of Deadpool viscerally butchering a bunch of criminals, that felt out of character for Cap.
That and Cap promoting him to be the leader. I could see Cap saying, hey, let's put him on the team, help reform him. But to be the leader, I don't see Cap doing that.
Yeah.
I think Cap would have reached out to Sunfire or someone over there. To be
anyone.
Yeah. Well,
or anybody.
Sunfire, actually, because Sunfire was an uncanny.
No, I mean anybody. Well, I mean a D-Man, for crying out loud.
Hey. Don't disrespect D-Man.
So the first and only member of Samurai Squad, Avengers Samurai Squad, is this new character, Sakura Spider, which is a girl, right? A young girl.
She's a girl. She wears like a hoodie that's got like a Spider-Man face on it. She's got spider. She's basically a female, like a Spider-Gwen or Spider-Man girl.
I mean, she is Spider-Man as a girl. Like, I mean, the origin is the same.
Oh, yeah. She even like went on a field trip and got bit by a spider.
And I think they even joke about, oh, we're not even trying now. We're just stealing the origin or something,
But I'm
sure. And then, Loki in the meantime is trying. He's like
trying to find some ancient weapon or something that the Avengers hid in Japan of all places.
And while doing so, creating his own Masters of Evil or something. It was just like, what?
Because he keeps trying to recruit Deadpool. He's like, Deadpool, you're a baddie. Come join us.
And Deadpool's like, no, I like this hero stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So at one point, Loki goes to recruit this young, again another girl. Was it Nero or Nairo?
Boy, I'm not quite sure on that one.
Because I started, when I was reading it, I heard it as being said Nero, and then I thought about the great Nero Emperor, and I thought, well, that's
probably Nairo.
So I wonder if it's Nairo.
Let us know in the comments if you know.
If you know. Anyway, she is attached to a symbiote, and this symbiote's name is Cage.
Yeah.
Which I guess in Japanese means shadow.
Yeah, that's right.
From what I understand.
There was a subtitle, like a little caption thing.
Yeah.
Telling us idiots what it means.
Yes, right, yes. So basically.
Could have been Kage.
Oh, could have been, yeah. I guess that's true. That's a possibility. Either way, it's Shadow. Right. The symbiote Shadow. And
so it's Spider-Man and Venom.
Yeah, and was it just me, or was it like essentially Tom Hardy's Venom?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Like, it wasn't comic book Venom. It was like Tom Hardy Venom.
Everything in here is like ripped from the MCU or the Venom movie. Like, even Sakura Spider is pretty close to Tom Holland style Spider-Man.
Yes, that's true. There is a lot of similarity there. Yeah.
Loki is so much Avengers 1 Loki. Not later Loki, because obviously...
No. Very much the bent on conquest and super villain Loki. Yeah, absolutely.
And Kage, or Cage...
Or Shadow.
Is, very, like you said, very much the Tom Hardy...
Yeah.
The only different odd thing out of all of this is Nero. Or Nero.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And she's... I did not like her origin.
No, it was weird, wasn't it? She
was like, so everyone kept talking about how she's such a pretty girl, but her mother is so ugly.
Oh, that's right. It was the ugly mother thing.
And it was like, okay, and she's now this pop star, and she'll never turn a fan away if they tell her she's pretty, because it makes her mom...
Because her mom was... There's this whole scene where her mom is like, I love that you're pretty and that people find you pretty. That makes me happy. So... And it was just like, what?
Yeah, it was
what?
Really odd.
It was very, very odd. I think a lot of the things that we found odd about it, I think would have been fine in any other manga. Yeah. I think the problem that we had is that we know Deadpool, and for a person like you, I can take Deadpool or leave Deadpool. I absolutely love the movies, and I love when Deadpool shows up in certain books and interacts with certain characters, but I'm not like a Deadpool fan. But you are.
I was.
Oh, was. Okay, yeah.
I had read everything from his creation to the Brian Posehn...
Posehn? Yeah, I don't know.
Everything through his run with the
I did read that run, yeah.
And I mean everything. Cameos, everything of Deadpool. But it got to the point, too, especially when I started reading those, it got to be too much.
Yeah. Well, like Wolverine or Batman or any of the, they're everywhere.
I got tired of seeing them.
And I'm sorry, but, and I know that this is going to piss off a lot of fans, and I don't mean to attack Batman in any way. I mean, I do like Batman, but of those four, I'm sorry, Deadpool and Batman are the least interesting. I can take more Wolverine and more Spider-Man because they're more interesting characters. Batman and Deadpool, certainly Deadpool, not so much.
Batman is one of my favorite superheroes of all time, and I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, it's just overkill.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, there are nice things though in the book, like I wrote down a note about page 80 of the book. There is a great little bit that they do. Let me see if I can get to it because I can't remember it. So, if you've read Western American comics, and probably many of you listeners have, there's always the editorial note, like, oh, for this, see this issue, what they're talking about is actually this kind of
back
plant.
in FF12, smile and stand.
Yeah, or even also too, like, oh, this stands for this, just in case you know. Well, so in here they have that as well, kind of like in the side, like when you're reading it, it's along.
It's because mainly, if I remember right,
because it's right.
vertical.
Right. So like when Loki shows up, for instance, it says on the side, Loki, adopted brother of the mighty Thor and villain out to conquer Earth. The weird thing about American superhero comics is that you need notes like this to understand them. I actually laughed out loud when I read that, because I thought not only is that true and helpful, but super meta self-referential funny.
Well, that's kind of one thing about this book in general, is it's meta, but sometimes too much.
Almost entirely too much.
Right.
I think that was the problem I had, was that the Deadpool breaking the fourth wall is a great gimmick.
But it's like every other
But
page.
it is I would almost say it's every panel almost.
Yeah.
I mean, every single page, at least every page, he makes some sort of comment about knowing it's a comic book, or knowing that there are Western versions versus Eastern versions, or knowing that there are movies, or every page there's a comment, and that gets a little old.
Yeah, it did.
After a while.
At least it read fast.
It did. It reads very fast, and there were some neat things in it too, like so obviously. For any listeners out there who don't know, and this is something that I didn't know until we started doing Prime Impact. So the mangas that you buy here in America in stores, they are basically like our collected editions, our graphic novels, right? Because over there, they're printed as chapters in magazines like Shonen Jump.
Yep.
Which, of course, Deadpool talks about Shonen Jump constantly.
Every issue or chapter or whatever.
He's always talking about that one in specific, because that's kind of the biggest one.
Like, I can't believe I'm in a shonen. Or...
Yeah. I can't believe I got to be a Jump, or something. Yeah. So anyway, so what these books do is they typically collect 7, maybe 8 chapters in one book. So it's like collecting
and each
issues.
one's about 20 or so pages too.
Yeah, I mean it's just like a comic. Well, I don't know if you picked up on this or not, but it was, what was it? I think it was chapter 3, maybe?
Okay.
Yes, it's chapter 3. And I'm assuming that this is the cover. Did you? Okay. Yeah. I am assuming that this is like the cover or the title page that shows up in Shonen Jump. But it is Deadpool in the Demon Slayer. We'll try to pop one up here for you guys. In the Demon Slayer Volume 1 cover, which I thought was just like, okay. Well done there.
There were fun things like that they did.
Yeah, they did some nice stuff that really kind of connected and paid homages to other mangas to really kind of tie it in, which I appreciated.
There was the back page.
Oh, yes, basically the Profile Who's Who pages.
And Deadpool makes a comment about how this is a Profile Who's Who page, and he gets a little snippy that there's only like a small paragraph about it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun. I was like, okay, that kind of fourth wall breaking?
That's great.
Right.
Yeah.
But let's tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, as we talk about all this stuff, we got to talk about the cliffhanger, the gotcha moment, the come back for the next volume moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, take it.
Which, I mean, I don't know. When I saw it, I knew I wasn't going to read the second volume in a snap.
Yeah, I got to it and I went,
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was fun. Read that. Glad I have it. Glad I have it in the collection, but yeah, I don't care.
You find out Loki's working with Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. And I was just like, well.
Again, this is like, hey, let's cram the MCU into a manga.
Yeah.
And again, that was my biggest problem with it.
Mine too. And again, and for an episode like this where we both read the same book, generally we would at this point kind of break off and then we'd talk about the other person's book, but
we read the same book, and we both did like it, though.
We both did like it, but at this point, because we read the same book and we've kind of touched upon it a little bit, I think what's best here is to talk a little bit more about Deadpool and the stuff that we like about the American. I know we've kind of done that a little bit, but I think some of the issues that I had is that it was like they understood, and it's written by Senshiro Kasama, and art by Hikaru Usugi.
Some of the art.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah,
because we found out when I did Hero, the horror manga last year, that manga has like a team of artists.
Yes.
One guy draws the character, and he's got a bunch of lackeys who draw the backgrounds.
Yes, and they actually even make a joke about it very, very early on. I want to say in chapter 1.
Yeah, it's like a building explodes.
Which I think is like one of the most impressive 2-page spreads I've ever seen in a manga. There is an incredible building exploding sequence that, whoever it is that did that page, yes.
Bravizo.
Because that is one of the best 2-page spreads I've ever seen in a manga. But it's like they took the things that are overly super popular, and that's it. And they cranked them up to 11 and didn't really look at some of the other stuff or even cranked some of the other stuff back.
It's the Thor Love and Thunder of Deadpool mangas.
Ooh, good comparison. Not a bad thing, not a bad book, but
just too much.
Yeah, just too much.
And a lot of what I like about Western Deadpool compared to this one here, and this is a nice little comparison for you guys. Western Deadpool, where he does break the fourth wall. I don't know if he does it as often. I haven't read him much lately. But Deadpool has a lot of subtle nuances about him. He has a lot of internal conflictions on things. And there are a lot of things where he is, especially in the Joe Kelly, Ed McGuinness run.
Well, that's the best run, yeah.
Where he is really struggling and really trying hard to be a better person. Mm-hmm. And he is and that's missing in this. This is essentially Deadpool with a pink backpack every panel. The look how out I am.
Yes, I would say not Michael Bay, the director of actors or storyteller, but like Michael Bay, the camera man.
Michael Bay, the explosion guy.
His approach to cameras and the way the camera works and explodes. It's like if you took that Michael Bay and had him be your director of photography and your cinematographer and all of that, and then take somebody like Taika Waititi and remove the reins from Taika Waititi and have him direct the story and the characters and the actors. That's this.
Yep.
So like we said, it's not bad.
No.
It's not Deadpool.
It's a lot of fun. If I ever got the second volume for free, I'd read it.
Oh, absolutely. If it was like, hey, listeners, if you want us to review the second volume, send it to us, or,
You can only send us one. We'll borrow each other.
Right. Or, head to the Patreon and sign up for a month or whatever, so that we can go and buy it. But I'm glad I own it.
Yeah.
I'm glad I own it. It's Deadpool. And I'm glad I have read now a Western character in manga style. That was really fascinating to see their approach.
One thing I think I noticed when I was kind of looking stuff up online about it, from volume 2 though, it looks like there's, I don't know if it's a full-on cameo. I only saw a quick panel, but if it's a full-on cameo or one of Deadpool's weird psychic vision things that he gets. But there's a panel of Deadpool with All Might from My Hero Academia.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So I don't know what the heck's up with that. I'm kind of curious about it, but am I curious enough to go and buy it?
Well, and again, like you said, like a free, or I would even, because it's Deadpool and because I enjoyed it enough, I would even say like if I'm in a comic shop on Free Comic Day, and they have a rack of manga reduced to like $2 or $3, and Deadpool Volume 2 is there, yeah, I'll pick it up for that price. Sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to... I'm a cheapskate. I don't know if I want to spend $10.
No. I don't think it's worth that.
No.
I don't think it was well done enough, and
there wasn't enough substance in it.
There was not enough substance in it, and as we said, mangas have a team of artists. More often than not, you can't tell. More often than not, the team either gels well or their styles are similar enough that that it all works. This is the first time that it's been blatantly obvious from page to page that there are different artists doing things.
The backgrounds are so crisp and clean.
Well, and even some of the foregrounds, even some of the panels, the artist themselves who is doing the primary stuff isn't terribly consistent. Now, I know as an artist myself personally that I am not always super consistent either from panel to panel.
No, it is.
We've been Dragonus and I and our dad Monster Kid. We've been working on our own comic for the better part of a year and a half now. We're very, very close to finishing the first issue, and stay tuned. And most of that it works. Most of my stuff flows. There are a couple of times where I even look at it and go, okay, if the character wasn't wearing the same costume, I don't know if people would be able to tell that it's the same character. Yeah, no. Because I'm just not... I haven't done it enough.
I've had to go back and change backgrounds and characters and all that to make sure it's fit. I've looked at it and go, that doesn't gel.
And again, that's something that comes with time. Yep. That's something that comes with practice. And the more we do it, the better we will get at it. And also, we're not paid to do that yet. Whereas these guys are.
Yep.
And
well, so is Rob Liefeld.
Yeah. Okay. There's a good thing. How would you, given the choice, remove the Joe Kelly? Because let's face it, guys, Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness, they created Deadpool as we know Deadpool now. The Deadpool of the movies. Yep. That comes from Joe Kelly's run. The breaking the fourth wall and all that kind of stuff. And there might have been one or two instances with Liefeld or Liefeld, whatever it is, but that really comes from Joe Kelly. So remove the Joe Kelly run completely.
Okay, gone. It's already forgotten.
If you only had the choice between Deadpool Samurai and the original Liefeld Deadpool comics and appearances, which one would you go for?
Are we including Cable Deadpool?
The run that came later?
Yeah.
No, because that comes after the Joe Kelly.
So everything after Joe Kelly's.
Yeah, let's just scrap everything after Joe Kelly. The Deadpool Samurai or the original Liefeld Deadpool.
And I have to choose one.
Yep, got to choose one. One's got to go, one stays.
I can't choose neither. No, I might actually go with the Liefeld original stuff, just because, back then Deadpool was a villain. But I did really...
To keep, you mean? You would keep that stuff, or you would get rid of that?
I'd keep that stuff. That's a very different character altogether, too.
It is.
And I actually really enjoyed those miniseries, those 4-issue miniseries.
Oh, yeah, the first ones.
Those were fun. But I think the whole reason Deadpool is so cool in those is because he's a villain. He's not the good guy that we know. He started as a villain. And he's so polar opposite almost to Cable. Yeah. And you also get Cable and all the X-Force in those as well.
Sure, of course, yeah.
And I'm a 90s kid. I grew up reading 90s comics. So, I have to go with the 90s stuff.
It's funny that you say that because I'm such a 90s kid as well. And manga is a whole new thing to me still. I know we did a season of this, but it's still very new to me. And I would say 98% of the time go with something from the 90s or the 80s without a question.
Yep.
Regardless of what it is, knowing full well the quality or level of quality that it may or may not possess. Having said that, if I'm given the choice, I'd probably go with Deadpool Samurai.
Really?
I probably do. Only because and don't get me wrong, and Rob, if you're watching or listening to this, first off, awesome, cool, thank you.
Come on the show,
yeah, right. Because I grew up with your stuff, so that's super cool. But also, Rob, no offense here, Rob's art style is so specific, and it's so stylized, and it's so Rob Liefeld, and I love it.
Yep.
But I do find myself, especially now when I'm older, reading 2 or 3 issues of it and then going, okay, I got to go to something else.
It's like a really rich brownie.
It is that I can't have all at one time. And so, it's one of those deals where, yeah, I can read an issue or 2 of it, but whereas this, while there's no substance to it, it was just, balls to the wall fun. And I could follow.
I agree with that.
So
I can agree with that. It was very fun.
So yeah, so that's my view.
I like villain Deadpool.
Yeah, I get you. Well, there you have it, guys. That's our first episode of season 2, and it's a review of Deadpool Samurai.
Like Deadpool, we're breaking the fourth wall and talking to you.
That's right, from our new amazing studio space.
Tea shop. Tea shop. Cafe.
We'll see you next time.